Albie. Dangerously close.
Dangerously close?
I'm dangerously close.
To what?
Becoming reemployed.
Uh-oh.
Dangerously.
Poor you. I'm sorry.
Should I send
End of an era.
Do I send my elusive billionaire one more email? And
Can try.
no. If what I'm thinking of doing is actually a thing that comes to fruition in the next couple of weeks, and that'll be quite an adventure, which would be quite fun. But we'll see. We'll see. So
I think it would be exciting. I think all your jobs are exciting.
Yeah. Since you've known me, I don't think I've had one that wasn't exciting. Or as yet. Have we been embarrassed at the overpayment I've received? I don't think so.
It's part of the excitement.
Yes.
You get to live on a roller coaster.
Hiding close to the poverty line as usual. Okay, where do you want to start, Albie? Because I was going to start with Olivia Nuzzi because there's a guy from The Ringer wrote a great piece on her, and I usually start to shy away from a whole lot of reading.
Yeah.
But no, I guess we should start with okay, the Olivia Nuzzi thing is just simply this. She is, in my opinion, just a complete and total self-important self-centered, selfish, destructive whore who's destroyed a couple of marriages and destroyed a lot of lives. She thinks she's entitled to everything because she's got like distorted Easter Island cheekbones. She thinks that she's allowed to do everything. And I think that her writing a book called American Canto instead of writing about like filthy whore, which she should be calling it.
Yeah.
Because that's what she is. I mean, Oberman kept her around when she was 20 years old because he paid for all her stuff and bought her nice things, and he got to use her body to do that. So, I mean, and she got to be near, power, we'll say. So, yeah, she's just she's nothing to me but a dirty, destructive, horrible person. And believe me, I love like evil women, and but she feels entitled to everything. And I've known some ego-filled people who believe they're entitled to everything they can get. Most of them are just abject, total losers who pretend they're in finance or pretend they're writers or pretend they're religious clerics or they pretend there's something grand. Mm-hmm. I've dealt with a lot of these people, and most of them are just absolutely abject losers. Live off a girlfriend or a wife or never leave the house, or whatever. Mostly they were the kind of kids, if it was 35 years ago, we'd be working at Blockbuster into their late 30s, telling you that they were really, working on a screenplay, Mm-hmm. So, but she has tripped into some good luck. People buy her BS. I assume she's a good interview. Or I know she's fully capable of sleeping with whoever she wants to, so she's gotten good jobs. I hope this book is a flop. It won't be. All you have to know about her is that Lizzo, who's also seems like a piece of trash, her fiance, was married with a few kids when she destroyed his marriage. Before then, she destroyed all the lives around him. So yeah, I have no. You don't know how I feel about this from the Canton Murray case. Yeah, I think you should go for it. Mm-hmm. I don't really anymore indict OJ, and I don't. When women destroy the lives of fiancés or husbands, and thus destroy other lives as well. Mm-hmm. I have no problem with angry revenge murder. No, there was a time I probably would have. I don't anymore. I'm fine with it. So I hope the worst for Olivia Nuzzi, and it makes me happy to say that because I do hope the worst for her. She's just absolute trash, and that's too bad too because there's a lot of great women out there who aren't negative advertising for the brand. Like who would? I listened to her get interviewed 5 years ago, and she talked about how Donald Trump once sent somebody out to find her because she had written an article about him, and he liked it. He thought that she was fair, so he brought her in toward the White House. She was covering him anyway. He had known her because she covered him in 2016, and he showed her all sorts of stuff in the White House, and he gave an interview, And she went on to a podcast. I thought it was the Fifth Column podcast, but I'm not sure. And this is before I knew anything about her. And she absolutely bleeped all over him and said, "Oh my God, his place was so tacky, and the Oval Office looked terrible, and of course his hair is like stupid." So I'm like, yeah, this is like crazy absurd." And she came, this self-serving little spoiled rich kid who's just so dishonorable. You know, if somebody gives you access to the Oval Office, you don't have to go play tattletale on them. Her thing about like going into Lewandowski's office as well. No, into his house, breaking into his house to try to find something. Like this person is
She's a psycho.
She's a psycho who should have her hair shorn off her in the public square.
She she tweeted out today, "Signed, your book rollout has gone awry," by Olivia Nuzzi. "Your agent texts you unprompted and with no elaboration. I love you. Monica Lewinsky reaches out to check on your mental health. Frank Rich encourages you to send your book to Fran Lebowitz because she's not online. The woman who realigns your chakras in Santa Monica sends word from her Scotland retreat that she's available for an emergency remote chakra realignment session anytime."
What an a-hole. What an a-hole. What is realigning one's chakras? What is that? What is a chakra?
I don't know. It's some kind of like pagan religious thing.
Oh, what a filthy, puke-ridden thing she is. Oh, God. But this guy, Brian Phillips, for The Ringer, has a great article about her in RFK. He said, "There's no way around it. If you read this article, you're going to have to imagine RFK Jr., the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services, having an absolutely eyeball-melting orgasm. You're going to have to imagine the sweaty, leathery man in his early 70s, the scion of the celebrated Kennedy political dynasty, bellowing like a Spartan as his body yields to the sweet release. Knees buckling, sinews straining. What does it sound like when RFK Jr. bellows? I'll go out on a limb and say it's gritty. His normal speaking voice is basically a garbage disposal. When the big one hits, it must be like tossing a fork in it." He goes on to say, I'm sorry for this. Truly, I would protect you from these images if I could. But the latest, grossest plot twist in the ongoing saga of RFK's affair with the acclaimed political journalist Olivia Nuzzi, RFK appears to have written a poem to his lover about, "And please remember that I hate my own life as much as you're about to hate yours," his own ejaculation. He calls it, quote, "my harvest." Lines from the poem were published Saturday on the Substack of Nuzzi's ex, Ryan Lizza, who was also a political journalist and who was engaged to Nuzzi at the time of the alleged affair. Lizza has launched a multi-part Substack series chronicling Nuzzi's infidelities to counter what he claims are Nuzzi's misrepresentations in her forthcoming memoir, which was recently accepted in Vanity Fair, where Nuzzi currently works. But hang on. You have any idea what I'm talking about? Have you been following the scandal at all? My sense is that of the people reading this, half will have no idea who Olivia Nuzzi and Ryan Lizza are, while the other half, sickos and journalists, but I repeat myself, have been binging on the story for months and keep all the details on murder boards in their brains. If you're just joining us, welcome. Let's take a minute to get you up to speed. At the most basic level, the facts are these. In 2024, RFK Jr. reportedly had an affair with Nuzzi, then a political writer for New York Magazine. Nuzzi, who's 39 years Kennedy's junior, met Kennedy while profiling him for New York cover story in 2023. At the time, Nuzzi was engaged to then political writer Ryan Lizza, Z's recognize Z's. RFK was, and bafflingly still is, married to Curb Your Enthusiasm actress Cheryl Hines. New York parted ways with Nuzzi after the news of the affair became public, and as more details have emerged over the past year, the scope of the scandal has widened to encompass political corruption, journalistic malpractice, lizards, Dante's Divine Comedy, Malibu, $15,000 worth of Cartier jewelry, shocking press releases, surprise investigations, naked presidential candidates, more than one, Kennedy assassinations, more than one, and also Keith Olbermann for some reason. Let's join hands.
Did he even mention who's the other one? Mark Sanford?
I'm sure he does. Let's join hands. Not you, Mr. Secretary. You keep your hands to yourself and go forth to examine a tale that both encapsulates this dystopian moment in our politics and epitomizes the many, many ways America can make you say, "What the bleep? Oh, no." And yeah, I'm going to quote more of the poem. I just need a minute first. It's that horrifying. So he goes on to talk about, he says, Olivia Nuzzi, former New York political reporter, currently Vanity Fair West Coast editor for Now. More on this in a minute. She's 32 years old, born in January 6, yikes, recently called the modern iteration of a Hitchcock blonde by the New York Times, made her name covering Trump for the Daily Beast in 2016, became one of the most famous political journalists in the country after being hired as New York Washington's correspondent at the age of 24. Known for writing voicey, insidery, entertaining profiles of national political figures, also at one point for a tendency to cultivate Twitter friendships with far-right influencers, even adopting their rhetoric in a whoopsie, ironic way. 2018 entered Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski's home office without permission after Lewandowski left the door unlocked. Later in 2018, was invited to interview Trump in the Oval Office. Before becoming famous, she was in a relationship with a much older MSNBC host, Keith Olbermann, who, according to her ex-fiance, paid for her to attend college, outfitted her in Tom Ford and Hervé Leger dresses, and sent $15,000 worth of Cartier jewelry, and covered her rent. Olbermann responses to these reports, and it has some crazy tweets. He admits it.
Yeah, he basically said it's not that much jewelry when you spread it out over all her birthdays and Christmas.
Yes. As a teen...
Which is what you say about the $15,000 worth of Cartier jewelry you've gotten me, too, right? It's really not that excessive when you spread it out like that.
As a teen, under the name Livy, Nuzzi tried to launch a music career by releasing a MySpace single called Jailbait. I've got no shame, one line goes. You will never trick me into saying anything about this. So yada yada yada. Anyway, it's a great article.
But yeah, she's a shocking person. Just everything about her is astounding to me.
Yes. And RFK has faced very little blowback for his reported decision to get down on FaceTime with a woman less than half his age. Why is that? Garden variety sexism is surely part of it, but misogyny hasn't stopped sex scandals from...
Well, mostly because people know why he wanted to sleep with her, right?
Right.
Because all older male politicians, I assume, want to sleep with the hot reporter babes who interview them, right?
Right.
It's not like an achievement on her part to get him to find her hot.
Well, right. And as he goes on to say, she's also, reporters are going after her because they're jealous of her, and she cheated. You know?
Yeah. Well, he cheated too.
Well, no. She cheated at reporting.
Oh, well, yeah.
Where they're not. You know, if you're going to bang people who you're writing about, well, that changes the rules a little bit. It's hard to compete. Were there any mitigating circumstances that made the industry more inclined to give her another shot? Sort of. For years, the thing with Nuzzi was that however frustrating her behavior might be, almost everyone agreed that she was a good writer. Yes, her vibe was chaotic. Yes, she seemed untrustworthy. But the writing, people said...
She breaks into places.
But the writing, people said...
She sleeps with her reporting subjects.
She's talented. The writing is good. No one was going to confuse her with Joan Didion as a stylist, but her profiles were fun. They fizzed. As recently as a few weeks ago, people were still saying this. And if she just kept her head down and concentrated on doing good work, she might be able to gradually win back the respect she'd lost. But that hasn't happened.
Instead, she embraced the chaotic vibes.
This November, when the wisest PR strategy would have been to lie low and be normal...
I don't think that's physically possible for her.
Nuzzi sat for a glammed up profile, complete with a moody black and white photo spread in one of the biggest newspapers in the country. Oh no. Oh yes. She had a book to promote after all. The piece, titled Olivia Nuzzi Did It All for Love, it was published by the New York Times, opened online with a giant looping video of Nuzzi driving a Mustang convertible in Celine sunglasses, her pale hair whipping in the wind. The writer, Jacob Bernstein, the son of Nora Ephron and the renowned Watergate journalist Carl Bernstein, he's the guy, I think, who called Melania a prostitute.
Oh.
Because why not, called her a Lana Del Rey song come to life. The piece portrayed her love for, I cannot stress this enough, RFK Jr. as passionate and sincere. It was so over the top, so spiritually inflamed by its subject that some people thought it was parodying Nuzzi, a journalist who'd gotten horny for her source being profiled by one pretending to be horny for his. That isn't what happened.
Would you have more or less respect for her if, like, a year from now, she just said, like, I just did all of this as a bit?
If she said she was just doing this to mess around with the industry, or like,
yeah, for like, you know, like how, or for some kind of like performance art project, like how was it Joaquin Phoenix who did that for a while? And it was like supposed to be some movie or something.
Yeah, but he came off like a jerk. If she, well, it would still make her a sociopath. Yeah,
I mean, I think she must be either way, right?
Yes. A few days after the profile, Nuzzi's first book excerpt appeared in Vanity Fair. And on the same day, November 17th, Ryan Lizza surprise dropped a Substack post stating that she cheated on him with a second presidential candidate. Right? Let's take the book excerpt first, because believe it or not, it might be the more deranged development. Nuzzi's memoir, which comes out December 2nd, is called American Canto. Is that a Dante reference? Let's check with the New York Times. Here's the New York Times excerpt. Nuzzi, 32, lives in a tiny house in the heart of Malibu where lizards crawl into her kitchen, and the King James Bible and the Divine Comedy, 2 books she was reading while she was writing American Canto, sit on her dining room table. What an a-hole. That goes along with being a sociopath who believes that their mind is on a marathon experimental voyage. Yep, that's a Dante reference. The book excerpt. It is bad. It is so bad. Bernstein's profile says that she typed most of the book on her phone while hiking near Malibu. And the nicest thing I can say is that I hope that's true. The press material suggests that American Canto focuses on the reality distortion field around Trump. But the excerpt mostly gives the impression of a writer lost in the reality distortion field of her own celebrity, convinced that her most self-indulgent instincts are her most profound. I mean, look at this. Here's an excerpt of her. He desired desiring. He desired being desired. He desired desire itself. Look at the way she refers to Kennedy only as the politician, and at the merciless clunkiness of its artlessly repeated words. Here's an excerpt. I would take a bullet for you, the politician said. He always said that. Please don't say that, I said. It goes on. From his mouth, the bullet theoretical launched the bullet possible. Do bullets launch? Does the theoretical differ significantly from the possible? Anyway, you get the idea, or you will if you imagine another 300-odd pages of this. Forget the sex. The real scandal here is the crime against language. We may be facing the biggest plot twist in this entire story. What if Nuzzi isn't a good writer after all? What if, as a friend texted me this week, the true hero of this 15-act opera is whoever was editing her pieces at the New Yorker, which you have seen firsthand. This chick, Nuzzi, is absolutely a talented whore.
Talentless
whore. And that's it. She's just like, she's successful because she's attractive. She's available to sleep with. And she's got editors. And Alice knows very well, when I was an editor for the Boston Herald, some of the stuff that was sent to me by people with good reputations in Boston. And like big degrees and all kinds of things. All sorts of credentialed stuff. The writing was that of a third grader. It wasn't that there were misspellings, because there were always, or the grammar was terrible, because it always was. A lot of these things they submitted made no sense, had no point. And I would simply have to take the pieces and say, what can I make of this? What should I make of these, errant, psychotic thoughts that don't concatenate at all? Well, and it's funny you bring that up about how the people that would have the worst writing were like some of the most highly credentialed people. Mm-hmm. We've talked about like the grade inflation at Harvard and how the students have said if you stop making 60% of the grades A's, then they'll like kill themselves or something. They just cry all day in their rooms. They can't handle that. And we've talked about the
the clear lack of standards everywhere across the board, students refusing to do any schoolwork and the administration asking teachers to keep them passing anyway, so they stay in school and keep collecting money from the government, which hands out free money for this stuff. And a news story came out today in the Atlantic, and actually, I'm not sure if it's today technically, but I saw it today.
So let me just finish this up with the Nuzzi stuff.
Okay.
She is fiction. She is just what editors turned her into. She's a dumb person. She's a selfish person. She's a bad person. And somebody who's an editor, you wouldn't believe how many dumb people are out there who seem smart. Now, obviously, the Boston Herald has Howie Carr. Howie Carr is a big exception. He can write, and he writes clean, and he doesn't need an editor. In fact, he's self-edits, really.
Yeah.
They have to cut him down for size sometimes. But like, even myself, as a columnist, I had grammar issues. I still don't know. I had grammar issues. I'm obviously, like, I didn't bother to learn really what a lot of those characters do, colons, semicolons. But you could see what I passed in, because Alice was looking over them all so that I could pass something in that looks like it was done by somebody who spent at least an hour paying attention in English class.
During his entire school career, cumulatively.
Right, exactly. But I never, you could always get the intention of the article.
Right.
Like, you knew what I was trying to say with bad grammar. But that's all this is. This lady has been whatever. And I hate her. And I also, you know what? Another reason I hate her?
What?
Is I don't think she's attractive.
No, she's like face-wise not your thing exactly.
No, God. So she gives me nothing to work with, and she's a terrible person. So let's hope bad things for her.
Oh.
Malibu apartment with the lizards coming in. Oh.
That's where you keep your Divine Comedy sitting on the table.
I know. There are things. I used to have a friend who, you didn't know him, he's dead now, actually, but who used to leave his books all the time at my apartment. So he would have, like, leave his Hemingway book, with his well-thumbed book. He'd always leave these things that he was brooding through and read. Like, I get it, okay? I get it. You're a deep thinker. I see, okay? You don't have to leave your crap here anymore.
So anyway, so this is from today, this piece in the Atlantic, which is incredible. I mean, I really think we're, like, a dam is breaking about what a scam college is. And they wrote in the Atlantic about people who are disabled in colleges and the disability accommodations. How many people would you guess at Stanford University are disabled in some way, are suffering from a disability that requires accommodation
10%.
from the school? You would be incorrect. At Stanford, it is 40%.
What?
Of the students are disabled.
Oh.
Brown and Harvard, it's 20%. At Amherst, it's 30%. Largely, this is because the definition of disabilities has been expanded to include things that get you extra time on tests and other things. But the big ones are ADD, anxiety, and depression. And so, like, if you have anxiety, the accommodation you get from the university might be that the teacher can't call on you unexpectedly because you're disabled by your anxiety. Right. So, it used to be that, like, the ADA was meant for, like, if you have a wheelchair, the university has to, like, have an elevator so that you can get into the building and then take the class with the other people.
Now it's anxiety.
Now it's, maybe the reason you're not doing well in school is because you have a learning disability, like Tim Walls' son has one of that kind of learning disability that gets you extra time on tests.
Can you imagine, by the way, the amount of administrators?
40% of the kids at Stanford, and what they found is that, shock of shocks, if you give kids that don't have learning disabilities extra time on tests, they also do better.
Well, of course.
So,
If you have some kind of student advisor, like, they should tell you. They're probably steering them right in there.
Of course they are. Their advisors and their families and everybody else are pushing them into this. And one of the reasons they're saying that this is obviously a scam that competitive students are doing to get better grades and test scores to get into these schools is that the problem is much more concentrated in so-called elite schools. If the actual problem was there's more kids with learning disabilities, then you would see more kids with learning disabilities in like state schools. But those numbers haven't gone up. It's the kids that are trying to do really well in school. It's the kids at like Stanford that want extra time on the test so their grades are better so they can get into Stanford.
Right.
And it's actually a parent in Scarsdale, New York, who works in special education says it's become common for parents of honors students to get their kids evaluated so they can get extra time on tests. People are all talking about getting their kids evaluated now. 1 in 5 Scarsdale High School students was considered disabled and eligible for accommodations on college entrance exams. So it goes on and on like this, but this is saying like some have convinced themselves that they need extra help. So there are students who are like consciously scamming.
Yes.
And saying like, what a good deal. But Will Lindstrom, director of the Region Center for Learning Disorders at University of Georgia, told me the fastest growing group of students who come to him seems to be those who have done their own research and believe that a disability is the source of their challenges. It's part of their identity. He said, by the time we see them, they're convinced they have a neurodevelopmental disorder. He says by attributing all of their difficulties to a disability, they're pathologizing normal challenges. When it comes to a disorder like ADHD, we all have those symptoms sometimes, Lindstrom told me. But most of us are not impaired by them.
ADHD used to be when I was watching like Oprah in the 80s and they would have somebody come on who had to flick the light switch 300 times. Or maybe that was OCD. Anyway, but like now you're right. Everybody has ADHD. And I mean, like, how could you not?
So it's just another way that this is like a scam. And, you know.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. You know, back in 1998, when I was dating Supple, she was in law school, okay? Or sometime around there. She was in law school and at Boston University. In the first year of law school, everybody was scared to death to be called on by the professor to ask them a question.
Yes, you could get an accommodation now for your disability because it gives you anxiety.
Horrible because, yeah, right, exactly. And she was like, oh my God, the guy next to me got called on and he didn't do bad well, and the professor like made him look a fool. And this is a thing. You get called out.
Yeah.
And then one day, Supple came home and she'd been called on, and she was in tears because she didn't have an adequate answer for the guy, whatever. But yeah, now, like, my goodness, absolutely, you get your called on waiver. You just like, hold the thing up like an auction card. No, not me.
It hurts their depression. Yeah, it tells the story of this one girl in here who says that one recent Stanford graduate told me that when she got mononucleosis as a freshman, she turned to the disability office. Because she couldn't exercise, she was struggling to focus. Though she'd always been fidgety, she'd never had academic issues in high school, but high school had been easier than Stanford. The office suggested she might have ADHD and encouraged her to seek a diagnosis. A psychiatrist and her pediatrician diagnosed her with ADHD and dyslexia, and Stanford granted her extra time on tests, among other accommodations. Yeah. So, and this is like all the big schools. University of Chicago is mentioned in here, Stanford, Harvard. But yeah, like if 40% of the kids at Stanford, which is a hard school to get into, are disabled, then like where something's wrong, they have intellectual disabilities, then like something's wrong with your definitions.
Is it all like handicap parking? Does everybody get a placard? Here you go.
Yeah.
And a dog to bring on a plane. It was amazing. Amazing. So we should talk about Trump waging war on Somalis today.
Did you see the Tim Walz? He's getting heat for this. Tim Walz is.
Let's go start with Tim Walz. How many times did you send this to us?
I didn't mean to. That's the new Twitter chat.
I know. The new Twitter upgrade it doesn't work.
Up and tweets 100.
He's going after. He's mad at Trump because Trump's.
When the president of the United States sets up and tweets 150 times after midnight and targets certain people, it's not a coincidence that they're targeting Minnesota. We certainly welcome those investigations. They've been done by all of you, and they've been done here. We certainly want to know that, but it's also the transportation secretary who is threatening to withhold our federal dollars. Look,
Maybe
that's who they are.
Funding Al-Shabaab.
Yeah.
Like anyone. Like,
Maybe the problem's you, Tim.
Who they are. We welcome anybody who wants to help us. We're fixing it. And I said, Minnesota.
Place hates everybody, hates Jewish people, hates everybody. And I think she's an incompetent person. She's a real terrible person. But when I watch what is happening in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, or however many lakes they have, they got a lot of lakes. But this beautiful place, and I see these people ripping it off. And now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at Tedesca, I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point.
No problem with any of that stuff. Yeah. This is what happens when a guy doesn't care if you call him a racist anymore. And if there are a bunch of people coming from a place who don't believe in this country, who are ripping the country off, sayo effing nara. Let's go. Purge. Absolutely. If it's Somalia, if it's freaking Ireland, I don't care. Get the freak out. Too much money has been spent on these people. It's freaking unfair. And to have half of this country call the other half who's complaining about things being unfair, calling them racists, I think you're starting trouble, and then I think you just go to hell. I'm sick of it. Here's Jacob Fry. Trump said he's going to kick these people out. Jacob Fry, who's the impish, castrated mayor of Minneapolis.
We are here to respond to a number of credible reports from several media outlets relaying that there are as many as 100 federal agents that will be deployed to the Twin Cities with a specific focus on targeting our Somali community. To our Somali community, we love you, and we stand...
What kind of friggin' sicko says that? Yeah. This guy has been speaking Somali, doing dances, friggin' just to talk about a gimp of a dude.
With you. That commitment is rock solid. Minneapolis is proud to be home to the largest Somali community in the entire country. They've been here for decades in many instances. They're entrepreneurs and fathers. They benefit both the culture and the economic resilience of our city. Targeting Somali people means that due process will be violated. Mistakes will be made. And let's be clear, it means that American citizens will be detained for no other reason than the fact that they look like they are Somali.
If this piece of crap and Tim Walz had just done their jobs, then we wouldn't have this problem. And then Somalis wouldn't be targeted.
Right. The problem is that you're giving a bunch of Somali people a bunch of free money for nothing and not rooting out any fraud who aren't citizens, by the way.
Right.
And so, and like there is some evidence that that money is being used to fund terror groups overseas. It's so crazy. But I mean, I guess that's what you expect from the left. It's just this weird projection where whenever they get caught doing something terrible or incompetent, I'm not totally clear yet on whether I think this is incompetent or malicious because it seems too big to be like pure incompetence.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they on purpose weren't checking or catching the fraud. That the second they get caught, they turn around and they're like, no, you're doing something wrong. Like,
yes.
You guys are like running a full-on corruption scheme here.
Yes. By the way, the police chief in Minneapolis is playing right along.
Folks that are masked, that they're not sure if they're law enforcement, that they may be kidnapping people. Like we have had those reports. I want to be clear to the community. The community should know that if you see something like that, that is legitimate, that you don't know if someone is law enforcement, you should call 911. And you should provide as much information as possible because let's not forget, we very recently had tragedy in this state by someone who was purporting to be law enforcement. So please, let's be clear. That's something
about George
everyone
Floyd?
should report.
No, I think that's about the guy dressed as a cop.
Oh, that guy, yeah. I mean, I just... The attitude of like, we're going to report ICE arrests as kidnappings. Like, oh, you guys, come on. Everybody grow up. And did you see there was like a church that in Massachusetts that put a sign in their crush that was like, ICE was here.
Yes.
And like telling people to report ICE.
Oh, so because is that all the...
Because baby Jesus was an
gone
immigrant.
Now?
Yeah.
That's great.
But like our side does this too. Mm-hmm. So I'm also embarrassed for... our people sometimes. There was a guy on Facebook. I had sent this to you, but he passed a house somewhere. I think he said in Brighton.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Oh.
And it had an 8647 sign on it. Mm-hmm. And so he goes, driving by, saw this on Non-Anthem Street in Brighton. Will report to FBI.
It's a good street.
And then all the comments are going, good that you're reporting it. Yes, report it. Yes, definitely report. We all need to be aware and report. Treason, report it right away. Yes, report them. Hopefully the FBI will investigate this. Investigate what? Guys, it's a sign, it's a flag that says 8647.
Ugh.
There's not really, like, just stop play acting that you're in a movie. Come on. Like, both teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the
pathetic.
86-47 thing is dumb. I don't think Comey found the seashells arranged like that on the beach or whatever stupid thing he wanted us to believe. It's all so stupid, but, like, why are we spending our time calling the FBI on our boomer Brookline neighbors or wherever?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Just.
Oh, by the way, we should mention now the New York Times came out with a piece, but it just torpedoed the Hegseth thing where they said Hegseth said, kill them all.
Which I said when that Washington Post reporting came out, I was like, this seems a little too on the nose.
It does.
This reads like somebody's insane fantasy where it's like Pete Hegseth is sitting in the office twirling his mustache and it's like telling them to snipe survivors off the boat wreckage, which also is like not true or what happened. So yeah, I mean, and you had, was it Mark Kelly who was on the Sunday shows and they said like, if you'd gotten that order, would you have? And he was like, I would have disobeyed that order.
Oh, he's pulled his transaction. He has made the transaction with the devil. He is now just a dirtbag scumbag.
It's so gross. He's so bad.
He is so bad. Oh, and there was a piece that I think I'd sent it to us where they said, like, what unlawful order did Trump give? And he said, he talked about shooting protesters and that. It's like, that's not an unlawful order. Nobody ever had to do anything. He's a bitch, yeah. He's gone. Meanwhile, your buddy, oh my God, Ola, whoever's standing next to my mayor, Zorhan Mamdani.
Is it his wife?
No, he's surrounded. His cabinet is full of babes.
Oh. Vanity Fair, someone did a big, like, piece on, or at least like Instagram thing about him and his wife's wedding and like how beautiful she is and all that.
She might be. I don't know. Is she?
I think it's one of these things where people on the left are like, oh my God, she's like the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And people on the right are like calling her a dog and stuff.
Oh, really?
So
yeah.
I don't know. Opinions seem divided. I think she's a type. Like if you were into her, you'd be into her.
Here's Mamdani with his brothers in Starbucks.
When I become the mayor of this city, I'm going to continue to stand on picket lines with workers across the 5 boroughs. And I've said this to many of the unions that are here today, many of the rank and file, which is that we want to build an administration that is characterized by being there for workers every single step of the way. And sometimes in the fight for decency and dignity that workers are waging, their voices are drowned out. And when you are the mayor of New York City, you have with that a platform where you can speak about the hundreds of times that Starbucks has violated labor laws. A platform where you can speak about the fact that, yes, we celebrate what DCWP was able to accomplish in the largest ever settlement that has been run.
When I worked at the front desk of a hotel, we had a kid come in he had literally had the Free Tibet button on his backpack. He had just come out of college. He got a psychology degree so he wanted to go work with prisoners. Mm-hmm. It was typical liberal of that time. And he wanted to unionize the front desk. So he called in all the unions to make sure like all the regulations were being done in the building. So it caused HR to have to post a bunch of stuff and this and that. And I was like the only redeeming thing we had at the front desk where we weren't unionized was that sometimes we could get extra shifts and make extra money. And, that was good. And it's like, you're going to make this a union shop, this job, so that exactly 8 hours we have to go somewhere. And also the problem with being the front desk, the big challenge that you have there, but it just shows you how useless these people are. The big challenge is that people from the outside keep coming into the hotel to sleep in hotel rooms. That's the problem. That's what sucks about working at the front desk.
Well, right. And at Starbucks, people keep wanting coffee from you.
Exactly. Exactly. So what's going to happen now is you're going to make the thing so just unwieldy and top heavy with regulations with your union that it's just going to capsize. and be out of business. Or, like you see at some hotels now, it's going to be just totally automated.
Yeah, it's automated. One of the conferences I went to this past year, the check-in was automated, and I could not have been happy. There was a kiosk,
Oh, really?
You could check in.
No human being.
You could check in at a kiosk if there was a line at the front desk, and it was great. You could check out at the kiosk too, but you could check in at it. I mean, like, that's awesome to me. And
yeah,
like the restaurant industry is not immune either. I mean, some of the places will still. I think
did we do a food podcast this weekend? We did, right?
Yeah,
we did.
But like, it's not just the drive-through ordering that's going to be able to do stuff with essentially these like ChatGPT voice things, basically these generative AI things, but the automation for actually like building the food is coming, and it's happening. Sweet Green does a ton of their stuff. They call it, is it called like Endless Kitchen or something like that? They have these fully automated kitchens. And actually, by the way, the staff really loves it because they don't have to friggin' spend their time making bowls of salad.
Right.
The thing they said, I saw the CEO talk, and he was saying that like the employee satisfaction at the stores that have it is so much higher because they don't have to forget. They just get to interact with customers and hand them their food, and it's made right every time because the machine does it. And like, I'm sure Starbucks drinks are pretty easy to automate.
Yeah.
Same thing every time. Like, it's not, there's espresso makers that make espresso drinks fully automated. Like, you're already almost there. There's no particular reason why you need all the baristas standing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not to say that there won't be employees. For a long time, there will still be employees, but you'll need a lot fewer of them to do it.
Oh, totally. Of course. Of course.
So, this stuff is coming for that industry, the automation stuff, and it had the technology like hasn't quite been there, and it'll be the chain places first, obviously, because that's where there's the economies of scale to do this stuff. And some things are harder to assemble than others. Like, I think assembling a Big Mac is probably a little harder than like a salad or a drink, but it's going to come. It's going to get there.
Did McDonald's give up on the salad idea? Is that gone?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
No. Yeah, it's funny.
But they bring stuff back occasionally. Remember, snack wraps came back briefly.
Yeah, aren't they back now? Those aren't great though. Those aren't not great. It doesn't matter because I'm going to be losing weight soon, Alice, because I simply this is untenable. Furniture is cracking around me.
I have lost weight, so you could ask me for advice.
Can I continue to eat pasta late at night?
Probably not.
No. I'll not be asking you for any more advice.
Okay.
All right, should we do this chat?
Yeah, let's head to the chat.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I tried to book Hogdale today. Hogdale is a Sox and Patriots fan who's with Barstool, and he said yes, but very Gen Z. Listen to this. He's only like 21 years old or whatever. He was supposed to be on this morning. I said 11 o'clock, whatever. Listen to how great this is, how great Gen Z this is. Oh, completely my bad, dude. I was working on a thumbnail and completely forgot. And then he said, after that, he said, but I was in motion at this point, so I didn't see this. He said, I can still pop on. Then he said, actually, my apologies, dude. I got called in to do some bleep for Barstool. I can absolutely pop on some other day, though. But I love it. Like, this is a generation of, I completely forgot I was working on a thumbnail. That's like, and I'm not criticizing him.
Any chance he got extra time on tests?
I don't know. I think he's a really talented guy, I think, anyway. But it's very funny, like somebody says, like, oh, sorry about that. I was doing something mundane, but it was more interesting than you. Okay, right?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, interesting.
What's interesting?
Hey, Twinkle Toes.
How dare you? How dare you? And where the hell have you been, Tim? For frig's sake.
Take it easy with the fake outrage over the posts some moms are doing on Facebook. Or as you said, moms who are posting pictures of their quote-unquote hot daughters in their bang me dresses. Yeah, you're so outraged that you're spending every free moment trying to track down all these pictures that should be deleted from Facebook.
Oh,
okay. You basically, you're the Pete Townsend of whatever this project is.
How dare you?
You're Tom Townsend. That's who you are. 33 seconds.
Thank you. By the way, I talk about Pete Townsend, as a matter of fact, with Billboard Chart Guy. You'll hear it Monday. I am not. Pete Townsend had pictures of underage people. I'm not. There was just a guy who lives close to me, who I used to work with for years, had these pictures of his daughter, who was essentially wearing pasties. Like, you remember, right? I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what do you? In the graduation pictures or something? I don't know.
Probably homecoming at this time of year.
No, this is not. This is years ago, but this is at the end of the year. I'm pretty sure. But I don't. Okay, I guess I get it. But I don't spend time looking at these things because I'm afraid of getting caught. Okay.
Hey, Billy from Manchester. If I'm not the heart and soul of this podcast,
I agree. You are.
Other podcasts that the Empire is involved in. And I mean, it's so telling. 2 messages yesterday, both from me, both entertaining.
Yep.
No contributions from anyone else.
Correct.
I mean, we're at Julie and Phil. They go ahead and they
Wow.
do a drive-by knockoff at me. I mean, what are their contributions? They served terrible potato salad at a party last year that they invited listeners to. 4 listeners came. I mean, that's their contribution.
This is first of all. I don't know that potato salad was served at all. Was it?
I don't remember.
But the food was fantastic. Oh my goodness! And there was a lot of people there. Oh my goodness, that was great. Thank you, Julian Field. By the way, feel free.
You can come next time, Billy.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe he was there.
Wow.
Good entertainment here, and I'm just I'll continue to do that, but I feel that I need to be more appreciated. Thank you.
He is there's something Steve from Gloucester happening. I'm going to say that's
I think people would recognize Billy from Manchester's voice if he came to the party,
I think that Steve I think they're brothers. That's what I think.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Alice. I just wanted to note something from last night's episode, number 1400. Timestamp 19 minutes, 55 seconds to 21 minutes and 17 seconds. Alice was giving some insight into some of the challenges that young girls are having with online presence and influences and what have you. And Tom, I noticed your contribution over that time span was 3 mms and 1 mm-hmm. So I want to say thank you, because when I used to steal the show for free and listen.
You did?
Now that I'm paying for it, my only request is, could you maybe throw in another or 2 and stop thinking about tripe, dented soup cans, Paul from the South End,
that's incorrect.
Your obituary,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it could be. Thank you. 57 seconds.
He's suggesting that essentially I'm taking out the trash verbally during the show. That is incorrect. I was possibly, formulating another very good thought to help bolster Alice's take, which, as we know, is something that needs to be done quite a lot. Right, Albie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You ready for the closing music?
I'm ready.
Albie? We got to continue with Sup with You.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. Appreciate you, Billy. We do. And
my God.
Tim and Ken. I love you guys in the chat also. And it was great to see everybody at that party. And we should do it again. You guys always make it worthwhile doing this. It's so fun. And you can join that chat and that group at patreon.com/burnbarrel.